Hello everyone, Josh here with X's, bringing you all another Out of Plane video. But before we get into that, make sure you go check out our second channel, X's Media, where we cover all sorts of gacha related content. We already have almost 30 videos posted there in just the past couple weeks on that channel. We are bringing you lots and lots of gacha related news, first impression guides, gift codes, etc, etc. If you want to go check that out and help out the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button over there at X's Media. You can find the link to the channel in the description below, as well as the pinned comment. Now, back to today's topic. Now, I want to start a very long series with Outer Plane, where we go through each and every hero and talk about the best accessories and weapons. The weapons and the necklaces that we can equip to every hero. What is the best ones? One, it pertains to the actual weapon and necklace skills. Like, which one should you be trying to get for specific heroes? What is the optimal, right? The optimal build there. We want to go ahead and go through each and every hero and do that. However, this series is going to really depend on you guys and gals out there. You will be the lifeblood of this ongoing series, because I'm only going to continue doing it if you guys and gals continue to watch, like, share these specific videos, because these will take quite a while to get through all these, and I don't want to do them if you guys and gals don't really want to see them. Now, I know this has been a very requested feature, or not a feature, but a very requested series here on the channel, and I've been trying to avoid it because of how long it will take to get through them. But I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. Let's see what we can do, and hopefully you guys and gals do appreciate it, because I appreciate you all. Because again, this is going to be lots and lots of work to get through all these characters. So I hope you guys and gals go out there and do what you need to do to keep the series going. And that, of course, is, again, hitting the like button, sharing the video, and of course, just showing up and watching. So with that said, let's go through some of the more priority units in the game first. So today's first episode of this new series will feature, let's go to the codex here. Let's see, because we do have a few options to choose from. I think I'm going to go ahead and let's go and start with Rin. I think Rin would be a good one. A lot of people already own Rin, right? So we're going to go down here to Rin. Let's go over her skill set really quickly and then talk a little bit about what type of weapon and, of course, accessory, the necklace that would best be suited to her. And we'll be using the codex a lot in this series, so keep that in mind. Okay, abilities. Alright, so we know her first ability attacks an enemy and increases the caster's priority by 20%, increases the caster's priority by 30% if the target was a fire enemy. Now, if you look at her maxed out stats, she has 1,208 attack, tied for the highest attack stat in the game. Decent speed at 134, 4,015 health, 337 defense, so she's pretty squishy. And then, of course, accuracy, evasion, effectiveness, and resilience isn't going to matter too much in this series, I would say, so I'm not going to really focus on those stats much. But, she is more or less a pure DPS, especially if it's against fire. She does even more. So her skill 2 attacks all enemies. This attack always deals advantage damage, resets cooldown if the caster has a buff. Now, this, of course, is also her burst skill, which can do additional damage, especially against fire when you get up to level 3, if you have her at 5 stars. Okay, now her ultimate is also going to be another AoE, which also increases her critical hit chance by 50% for 2 turns, and each time it's used increases her attack by 7%, a max of 3 stacks, so 21% additional attack. So you're going to, of course, get 21% additional on the base 1208, and then obviously whatever her gear is on top of that. So she is going to be a very strong AoE DPS who also has single target damage on her basic, and also has the ability to increase her own priority, and is going to do a ton of damage versus targets that are, of course, of the fire element. So we need to kind of find a weapon and a necklace that's going to best suit her in what she's trying to do as a DPS, right? So let's go back into the codex yet again. Well, I guess we never really left it, right? Let's go to gear. Now, this time, we're going to only be looking at weapons and accessories, and we're only going to be looking at weapons and accessories that are, of course, for strikers, because, of course, that is what Rin is. So those are going to be the only ones that are going to be working for her. So let's look at the first one here. Surefire Javelin. Increases damage dealt by 1% of the target's max health when attacking a single target. Now, ideally, this would be a fantastic weapon. However, this is still not fixed. This is still broken. This does not work. We've tested this in Guild Raid, which was like the best place to test this on. It does not work. So this is null and void. Moving on. This is absolute trash until they fix it. If they fix this, a lot of DPSs would be very, very good in a lot of different end game content, especially Guild Raids. This would be incredible. But as of right now, it doesn't work. So it's garbage. So we're moving on. Let's go to the next one here available. We have the Twin B. Now, this is one that a lot of people are very familiar with, especially if you are a Noah user early on in the game. Increases critical hit chance by 1% each time when when performing an action max 10 stacks. Now, this one's a pretty decent one. I forgot what it maxed out. It was like 2.5%, something like that. So you're looking at like 25%, give or take, additional crit rate after so many actions with a unit that can, of course, keep increasing her priority and spamming abilities like that. That might be a very decent one for her. That's actually right now my top one for her, but let's keep going on. So for now, Twin B is definitely my favorite weapon for her at the moment, but let's see if there's anything better. Let's go down to this one. Increases damage dealt proportional to the caster's missing health, max 30%. Now, this one I don't think is going to be very good on her because you're not going to be running a very tanky Rin anyways. A lot of people is going to be floating between like high 6k to maybe mid to high 7k. Some people might be able to stretch maybe 8k out of there if they're running like really good endgame gear. But that's kind of more or less around the margin of where she will be with her health. So the Violent Sledgehammer, I don't think this is going to be one that I'd want to run, okay? And it maxed out at 30% as well. So generally, if your DPS is like Rin and Noah are getting hit, especially in like Arena, for example, they're either nearly dead or pretty much dead. So I don't think this is going to be really beneficial into doing what they need to do. And then in PvE as well, I still would take the crit rate over the missing health damage as well. So I just don't like the Violent Sledgehammer either. So right now, Twin B is still, right here, Twin B is still in the lead here. Let's move on to, I believe that's actually the last one, right? Is that the last one? Because there's 3 dungeons, so there should be 3 weapons. 1, 2, 3. Yes. So that is the final one because then we're just kind of going back around again with the lower, the 5 stars. So Twin B is the winner in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But I do think Twin B is still the best weapon right now for strikers. Well, for Rin rather. I don't want to say strikers in general, but Rin especially. It's definitely going to be the top one for her. Okay, so we'll go with that. Let's go on over here to necklaces now. Necklaces should be a little bit more interesting. Let's go ahead and look at the first one. Increases penetration by 1% when hit, max 10 stacks. Again, when hit, you're not going to have a lot of HP on your pure DPSs. So, and the penetration amount isn't going to be all that much until you're hit multiple times. And by then, your unit might be dead. Now, in PvE, you might be able to get away with this if you're running like a really stable team, a very durable team, like you have a lot of healers in your team, good support, shielders, or anything like that. That could possibly work. This could also work on like other, strikers, like an Edith or a Rona. This could be pretty interesting on, right? Because of the way they're built a little bit different, more tanky than a Rin. But Rin, I don't think this is going to be ideal for a Rin specifically, but we'll see. We're going to keep moving on. The next one up here has a 50% chance to increase critical damage by 50% for 1 turn. When inflicted with a debuff at the start of the turn. Now, this one could be pretty huge for a unit like Rin, who's already going to have lots and lots of critical damage. So it makes a little bit sense to maybe put that on her. I like this one as well on a unit like the super strong single target, like an Air or a Francesca. But on Rin, it could be decent. It could be decent. I'm still a little bit conflicted. I still think I like the other one a little bit more, but I could see this working out okay. I could see this working out okay because you're going to be getting hit with debuffs a lot in PvE, not so much PvP. So like in PvP, this is where I'm struggling with this. I don't think this is going to be as beneficial. Matter of fact, neither of the 2 necklaces that we've already looked at seem to be very beneficial in PvP for me, for a Rin. Okay, because again, we are doing this for Rin specifically. So I'm a bit conflicted, because it could be good in PvE, obviously, because you're going to be hit with them a lot. But if you're running like Tio, if you're running like Siren, you're running Mine, I mean, you're getting you're kind of getting rid of a lot of your debuffs anyways. So will it be beneficial often? I'm not sure. But in PvE, it at least have some usability. In PvP right now, I don't think it'd have much at all. So we got to take that into account here. And then the third one that we have here is Dancer's Bracelet. Increases effectiveness proportional to the missing health, 25%. This is not going to help Rin at all. Like, not even a little bit. It's completely useless to Rin in every sense of the word, every possibility imaginable. It's just not going to do anything for her. She doesn't have anything that she requires effectiveness for. She doesn't land any kind of debuff, right? So she doesn't need effectiveness. So this is going to be completely useless to her. So as you can see, and this is why a lot of people struggle with this, and this is why we made this series, if you sit here and actually break down some of the actual weapons and accessories for certain class of characters, you'll notice that some class of characters really have better options than others. And you can see right now, for necklaces, the Striker class doesn't really have a whole lot going on for it right now. Like I said, this one, you're going to have to be hit multiple times. This might work for certain Striker class heroes that are built more durable, like Bruisers, like an Edith and a Rona, as we said. Or heck, even the new Stella. Possibility, right? But then you have, other ones like this, which could be useful in PvE. Sometimes, if you're not running a lot of cleansers, which everybody and their grandmother is running a Tio. People are now starting to run Sirens if they have her built up. You also have the new hero Mine that's lowering, that's somewhat of a cleanse on her kid. You also have cleanse with Burst, with Claire's. So it's like, will you even use that very often as well? I don't know. But if I was to take one of these three for Rin specifically, it would probably be the Clock Up. Because I feel like you're going to probably get more use out of this than the other two. Because, like I said, the penetration one for Rin, that doesn't seem ideal. Because you're going to have to get hit multiple times. And I mean multiple times. Is she going to survive getting hit that many times? Perhaps. Well, then it's a bit of a gamble. At least with this one, hey, if you just get a quick debuff on you and Rin's turns up, you're going to be getting an additional hefty amount of crit damage. On top of the crit damage you're already getting. Especially if you're running Valentine that team as well. That's a lot of stackable critical damage, right? So I feel like you're going to get more use out of this one, at least in PvE, than you will the other one for Rin. And if you're talking PvP, you're not going to really get much use out of any of these, if I'm being honest. These are all kind of pretty bad in PvP right now. But the meta could change and things could happen, and we'll see. But as of right now, I think Clock Up is probably your best bet for Necklace. And I think Twin B is going to be your best bet for Weapon. Now, the reason why I broke the videos down like this and kind of doing it like a, raw experience where I'm sitting here having an ongoing discussion with you guys and gals in the video as if I was sitting here personally trying to figure out what I'd want to do is because I think it gives you guys more of an insight to kind of how I'm thinking, my mindset, my process when I'm going through individual gear. And I wanted to give you guys, a little bit of a stepping stone for how you could go about doing the same thing, right? Because all we like to do here at Exis is try to educate and entertain. This video is more for education. So I'm trying to teach you guys and gals how to go about finding what gear, especially weapons and accessories are going to be better for certain heroes by thinking it out in your head like, okay, what works for PvP? What works for PvE? Does it work for both? Does it work for neither? Does it fit the skill set? Does it fit the stats of the particular character? What the character's role is in the team, etc., etc. Okay, so we'll go through these a little bit quicker in the next episodes, the following episodes. But the first one, I just kind of want to give you guys and gals a little bit more in depth of how we're going to go about approaching this series and things that we're looking forward to and looking for in certain units when we base, our decision on what weapons and accessories to actually use. So I feel like we talked enough. I feel like we went over enough here. I think you guys and gals understand now which, weapons and accessories you should be aiming for when it comes to Rin. There ain't too many options. It's Twin B and Clock Up for me. That's going to be it. If you guys want to see more of this series, you know what to do. Again, hit that like button, subscribe, tick notifications, join us in the Discord in the description below, and of course follow us on Twitter at Exodus Media, and check out our second channel, Exodus Media, where we're covering lots and lots of gacha related content. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.